Afternoon, hello,
Morning.
or evening, or morning, wherever you're watching it. This is
Good
episode.
night.
Aye, that was a quick podcast. No, we're episode 30. Jeez, I'm 30. How are we?
Aye. Tired, but good. But good.
Present.
Right.
Bacon.
Well, yeah, episode 30. Who'd have thought we'd got this far?
Not me.
I look forward to the next 300 more.
Oh, Christ.
We'll hopefully we've got a wee special one lined up. It's in the planning, so be prepared for that. It's a summer special. I'll not give too much away now. Tops. I think I've got a top on today that none of it hasn't been worn yet. I don't think I've worn this one. We need to get someone to sponsor us and get some new tops, so we're not just recycling all the other ones.
Yeah, I'm not paying for them.
The wee training number. So yeah, quick snazzy. Kel.
This is last minute because I had a yellow one on Greg's twinning, so I couldn't.
Greg, the fashion
Yeah.
police, made Kel change.
He did. Mainly because he's already worn this one like all morning, so.
So yeah,
So-
and we're not drinking because we're being sensible this week and
It's
we're all
2
very
o'clock.
busy. Yeah, and it's 2 o'clock when we're recording it. I've got some Lucozade.
I have a, albeit bad for you.
Oh, that's
I have
bad.
nothing.
Right, let's get started.
So
So,
nice Glucosade.
we're winning. If you haven't been living under a rock, I say that every time something happens. The playoffs were at the weekend, some big results. Will we start at the bottom and work our way up, or we'll start at the top and work our way down?
Bottom and work our way up.
So, a team close by to us won on penalties. Carlisle United are going up to League One. I'm happy for them. I watched it on my telecommunications device. Owen
I watched the end of it.
Moxon slotted a nice penalty away. Mentally, how he went from playing at Gallowbank last season to playing at Wembley.
Queen's Reject. Now one of the best players
Well,
Carlisle have had this year.
take what you will, but I saw a thing on Twitter, I believe, and they were throwing around a £2 million tag on him.
Christ.
I think that might have been a fan's estimation, but to be honest, he could probably go up to that part if he makes his moves well. He seems to be doing well.
Yeah, there's no way you'd pay $2 million for someone in League Two. Well, League One now, I suppose. So you know,
Yeah.
you never
And
know.
he's English tax.
That
Well-
doesn't work at that level, though.
Doesn't really get higher though. Well done, Carlisle. Well done. Owen, well done the rest of the team. Omari Patrick got a wee goal. I saw that. Me and
Joe
Kel saw
Garner.
him grace the field of Brunton Park and revisited twice last season.
And yeah, they were. Carry on.
No, go for it.
I was going to say they were tipped for relegation at the start of the season, so it was kind of mental. They went up through the playoffs. I know 4 teams go up through that league, but the fact they just scraped by last season and they managed to kind of get the playoffs and go up, and they're surely being tipped for relegation again from League One.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see, but anything can happen, really. Also, shout out to the Carlisle fans because that was a pure trek and it was a pain in the backside, I believe, having to get buses and stuff because I don't think the trains were running properly.
No, so I think it was a strike there.
Yeah, so fair play to them because it took a lot. So yeah,
Sunday was
Good
well,
well.
wasn't it?
yes, there was Sunday.
So
Yeah,
Sunday-
Maybe there
Sunday
wasn't a train
service.
strike then.
Sunday
Championship
service.
was Saturday, League Two was
Sunday.
Sunday, and League One was Monday.
That's a good segue to move on to League One.
League One, ex-Ranger, Josh Windass in the last minute of extra time. I think it was like 6 seconds left or something like that. It was mental. A diving header of all goals. So yeah,
Just
Just like
Sheffield-
he's done. Just like he's done.
just like he's da. It was written in the stars.
Only a matter of time.
I never really watched that because I was working.
I've seen bits of it. I think there was kind of controversy about the red card. I don't quite know why. It's a clear red card. I say
watched
that. It's one of those. I don't know about you, Kyle. Was it red for you?
I think it was a soft red, but like a strong yellow, if that makes sense.
But so people say they all people. What I
It's a
heard
bad
was
follow
it's probably orange.
Yeah.
But I was always told back in the day, back in the refereeing days, if it's an orange, if you don't know whether it was yellow or red, it's red.
It was a good tackle, just a bad follow through.
But yeah, but I don't think he can have any complaints, and I don't think there's this whole VAR agenda. It's a justifiable red card. It's not a clear and obvious error. Grow up, move on.
Maybe Barnsley played better, so
They did. But the penalty incident I can kind of understand, but red card, move on, grow up.
I mean, the penalty. So it was quite a boring game. No,
It was. Playoff finals be like that though. They all went to extra time. 2 went to penalties. 1 was 5 seconds away from penalties. It's that kind of usual cup final cagey affair.
Don't want to commit too much in case you concede.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Championship, Luton are going up. The garden sheds photos have been going up, walking through the gardens and all sorts, and that part on Twitter.
My garden shed.
To be fair, it probably is close to the same size. How much do they hold? 10,000? Something like that.
It's about the same as Bournemouth. I think I read a tweet to say that it's mental that Capello is bigger than 2 Premier League grounds now, with Luton and Bournemouth
Is it?
being there, yeah.
let's just see, shall we?
Should have known that from when we did the size of the stadiums, but I can't remember if that was the one that actually went on air or not. Remember that was when we had our technical difficulties.
Yes. Capello is 11,500.
Just checking Kenilworth Road.
I'll check Dean Court.
Capital. Kenilworth is 10,356.
And Dean Court is 11,307.
If you've got everyone standing at Palmerston, that can't be too far off that, is it? Is that not 8?
8.5.
There's 9.
Yeah.
But he can't stand in the Premier League, so that kind of would defeat that.
It's the same with Morton, though. Morton's 6,000 standing at Capello, but even still, it's mental to think that you can have more people at Capello than you can at 2 Premier League grounds.
Yeah, but they're only, like, they're not, you know what I mean, like, they're not big clubs.
And I think out of the 3 that went up, though, the only one you wouldn't back to go straight back down is Sheffield Wednesday. You back them to maybe have a go at staying in the division. The other 2, they're probably going straight back down, right?
Well,
Luton were, sorry.
No, go for it.
Is it Luton are 2,500 to win the league? So 2,500.
No hammering.
I was going to put a 5 on it, but I changed my mind.
Maybe not.
Do you want to just give me a 5er?
No, I'm alright. Gets free spins.
Same outcome.
Well, that kind of brings us on to what we're going to talk about. Who was the geezer that went all the way from National League to the Premier League with him? I don't know what picture his name.
Pele, Ruddock, and Kuzu?
Mpanzu.
That was the bit I didn't want to butcher. But yeah, he's went. Kyle made a point that went all the way from National League to Premier League. That's quite mental.
10 years.
It'll be more mental when he ends up on loan in the Championship.
Aye, pretty much. But still.
He's done the complete football. He was saying.
So the lineup, this brings us on to our next point in the running order. Premier League teams for next year. I've been reading a lot of tweets actually, and people have been saying it's the weakest Premier League there's ever been in terms of teams. What do we think about that? I mean, you've got to earn your place. You've got to earn your place to be there, and you can only play who's in front of you.
That's what I was going to say. They're there for a reason. It's not like they're just handpicked. They've earned it, so can only play.
I was watching. Who's just turned their Xbox off?
You turned on earlier.
It's not me.
I was watching a podcast. It's Big John and Johnny Fisher on Bosch TV. They did like daily episodes anyway. They were talking about it was in the boxing they were talking about, and they were saying you can only play who's in front of you, so you can't really slate a team for winning the league, even though it's like class easy when that's what's in front of you. I don't get the focus. I reckon if a team won the league this year, like say Man United win the league for the first time in ages, they probably won't. But you know what I mean? They'll be like, oh well, it was easy this year. I don't agree with that.
It's not. There's still really good teams like their top 6 and.
Well, I've got the list here. So
Brighton
Arsenal, Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Brentford, Brighton, Burnley, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Everton, Fulham, Liverpool, Luton, Manchester City, Manchester United, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, Sheffield United, Tottenham Hotspur, West Ham United, and Wolverhampton Wanderers.
I mean, shall we start by my contribution to this agenda, which is unsurprisingly very straight down the middle, and saying I am fed up of A, what constitutes a big club, and B, people saying that you have to be a big club to be in the Premier League. No, you don't. You have to win the Championship or come second or win the playoffs.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree with
if
that.
we wanted to put big clubs in it, folks
We'd be a
saying,
Super
oh,
League.
Blackburn should be in the Premier League, they're a massive club. Portsmouth are a big club, they should be up there. Well, they're not, because they're not good enough to be in the Premier League. If this is the weakest Premier League it's been, then putting teams in who didn't manage to get there over the course of a season will make it weaker.
Mm.
The size of your
Yes.
stadium or the size of your fan base doesn't make you worthy of being in the Premier League. The quality of your football does.
I agree.
You can be a big club, but still be pants.
Everton.
Well, look at
Yeah.
well, they're still in it. But
Only
think
just.
about Leeds before they went back up for the first time in ages.
They were quite
I mean,
entitled.
big club, big fans, but they just weren't good enough until obviously then Bielsa got them up. But before that, I'm saying folk were saying they should have been in the Premier League. But
It was like when
And you've got to
Newcastle
remember,
won it.
things change.
yeah,
Like 20 years ago, Coventry were a Premier League mainstay.
20 years ago, Manchester City were now
We're a
they had
yo-yo
a fan
club.
base, but they weren't a
Yeah.
Yeah, they were a yo-yo club. Like, things
Yeah.
change. Folks saying, oh, Brighton and Brentford don't deserve to be there. Brighton finished, what, 8th?
7th, 8th, or something.
So they've got European football.
Yeah. So, by saying, oh, they're not a big enough club to be in the Premier League, stop talking rubbish.
Well, 10 years ago, Luton were like bottom of the League Two, or National League or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was National League, and then I'm sure in 10 years they went to the National League. Yeah.
Anyway,
It's not really mental.
same with Bournemouth, they were bottom of the.
Was it
Look at
not?
Brentford as well. Brentford had a class start to the season.
But they were also in League Two back in the day. They were in League Two
Yeah.
with Luton and Swansea and...
Nottingham Forest kind of having the same dip, obviously, like in the 80s and that. They were spot
Yeah.
on, and then they obviously had
Derby.
Villa.
yeah.
Sunderland.
Ooh.
Newcastle, they had a 20-year hiatus. They were Champions League, fell off for ages. Came back now.
Yeah, it's
That's
a different level, but it's the
The
same
Shearer
comparison.
era.
Shearer.
Shearer era.
Yeah, so there's no big clubs. That's the moral of the story. Just
The
deserving
moral of
clubs.
Yeah,
A big
enjoy it
club.
while it lasts.
Yeah, big club.
It's a myth.
Chelsea went far off getting relegated. Let's be honest. I know it wasn't going to happen, but it was still mathematically possible until very, very close to the end of the
Oh,
season.
I thought you meant before Abramovich took over, because that's definitely true. They really weren't far off getting relegated.
Yeah, well, both.
Like, without Abramovich's money, Chelsea probably do get relegated in the early 2000s. It's...
Even with Todd Bowley, with his money, they nearly get relegated.
Yeah.
He's wasted his money. They just bought AM with a pulse, really.
Back to that point about Everton, though. Like, it's the same comparison. There's no such thing as too good to go down.
Well, Leicester and Leeds, they're, again, big clubs as we've moved over.
Are they, though? There's no
No.
such thing as a big
Leeds
club.
are, in terms of fan. Yeah, to be fair, I was just going to go back on what I said, but like,
They claim
a
they're a big club.
well-supported team in terms. I know, and that doesn't entitle them to be there, but you know what I mean.
The fans are self-entitled.
Oh, we're getting some big statements out now.
I mean, yeah, they are, like, you know, I'm going to try to go through the Premier League clubs in my head. Like, Arsenal and Everton are the only two ones that haven't been relegated.
Put it in the chat if you can read it. If you want.
Like, you go through some of that list, and over half of the Premier League clubs have played at the Championship in some point in our memory. Did you put the teams in the chat? Like, if you go
I've done
through
it
them,
now.
so if you go through
There you
them,
go.
Villa
You heard that,
have,
Pete.
Bournemouth, Brentford, Brighton have, Burnley have, Palace have, you know, Fulham have, Luton have. There's well more than half of that league have played in the Championship at some point in our memory.
Not sure they're the big six I have now. I say big six, but you can't, I mean.
Replace Man City with Everton, and I don't think you're far off.
Yeah, I think that's probably about right, actually.
Yeah.
About 6 teams.
So 14 of the league have played in the Championship in our living memory. So things change.
Probably as far as the last 10 years. Bar Man
Man
City.
City would be slightly more than that, yeah. But most of the rest of them have.
That makes it more exciting when you get these different teams every season.
Yeah, it makes it more entertaining. I
But
think.
it's just like the same 3 go down, the same 3 come up.
Well, that's the thing. There's always that as well. There's like West Brom were the yo-yo club for a while. Sunderland
Yeah.
were kind of there. You've now kind of got the Burnley, Sheffield United yo-yo.
Norwich and Fulham were the two sort of big
Yeah.
games.
Greg wouldn't really want me to say this, but I think Sunderland will be back up soon.
Be
I
good.
think they will be at some point, yeah.
Big
And it'll be
That's
good to
fine,
get the
'cause
derby
that's
back.
6 points.
Another derby, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a good one as well.
Well, Borough almost went up, and they like to think that Newcastle's a derby.
Well, we talked about it a few weeks when we were saying that Luton could go up. We were saying they'll need to spend the money in the stadium now, but I think it'll be good. I like stadiums like that. Have a bit
They need
of
to spend the money in the stadium, and they're obviously building the new one.
yeah. But I
Like
like the older
character.
stadiums. They have history and character, yeah, instead of these empty bowls that
Fish bowls.
generate. What? You both spoke at the same time there.
He said fish bowls, I said Cardiff.
Fair. Yeah, well, exactly. There's no atmosphere. To be fair,
West Ham, they moved.
yeah,
was-
it's too very. Well, we're getting on a tangent here, but it's very touristy anyway. The Premier League.
It is. Well, it is in certain aspects. Like certain clubs, yes. Newcastle, no. You can't get a ticket. I think Forest was similar for a while. You really struggled to get a ticket.
Probably. Maybe come on to that in the summer. That could be another one. Last week we spoke about. I changed subject here. Last week we spoke. No, wait. Sorry. I wrote down. Last question before we move on. Will the Championship be more competitive next season than the
It'll be as
Prem?
competitive as it always is, which is
Yeah.
ridiculously. You've
Yeah, I
kind
think
of
it'll
got a couple of. The bottom end of the Championship is always really interesting, as is the top end. There's never really a mid-table.
Yeah.
Just Ipswich. They're always mid-table.
Well, they only came up this year.
Yeah. But like they always just seem to be mid-table. Same as Stoke.
Like they've got money, but again, Stoke have been in the Premier League. We're there for how many years? Like
I was watching a compilation of Rory Delap's throw-ins the other day.
I watched on Twitter the time when Hull, another team that used to be in the Championship, goalkeeper Boaz Myhill punted the ball out for a corner because he didn't want Rory Delap to take a long throw.
Yeah, I think that might have been the same one actually.
I'm in a lot, I'm sure they just gave away corners rather than throw-ins because they're less dangerous.
But yeah, like the Championship will be mad. Plymouth, I worry for, especially if their manager goes. Their manager's been linked with Swansea. They had one of the smallest budgets in League One before they got promoted. They're now going to have a smaller budget in the Championship. The problem is you've got teams like Birmingham and Cardiff who are overdue a relegation, and it'll have to come eventually.
Yeah. No, that was my question. Right, last week we spoke about can Dortmund win the league? They were one fixture away, and they have bottled it. Bayern retained the title. I didn't watch it. I was working.
I've seen bits and pieces of both games.
Hellish. It was a hellish display.
I mean, from what I didn't see much the first half, but from what I did see and from what I heard, Dortmund forgot what football was and how to play it.
They picked a good game to do it.
It's pressure, man. Like,
Yeah.
But to be fair, there was a while when Bayern were losing, so Dortmund could also have lost, and they would have kind of both got their way to the title. But Bayern did a Bayern and turned it round.
I can sympathise with on the pressure because in the game every week that I play it, I crumble. I can't deal with pressure.
We'll find out in a minute.
I'm going to lose again. I know, I can tell you for sure.
But also the fact that Bayern responded to winning the league on the last day by sacking their sporting director, and there's rumours Tuchel might not stay around. Compared to Dortmund, who had celebrations at the side of the pitch in Mainz.
Wonder how much the Dortmund Champions t-shirts are selling for now.
That is a good point. The other thing, if people haven't seen it, when we're on the subject of Germany, did anyone see the thing about Hamburg?
Yeah, I think there's the pitch invasion thing. No.
Yeah, so Hamburg fans went on the pitch invasion after their game because they thought they were up automatically. And then the Heidenheim game, They equalised in the 93rd minute and then won it in the 99th minute. So the Hamburg fans were on the pitch whenever they were playing, and now they're in the playoff against Stuttgart.
It'll be funny if they don't go up.
It will be very funny if they don't go up.
I hope they do.
Sadly, though, the other funny if they don't go up thing didn't happen, which was Barry Bannon.
What about him?
There was people. Sorry, Robert.
No, I was going to say I didn't understand the whole context behind that. I meant to ask what were giving them absolute pelters, but I didn't know why.
Oh, there's a tweet from a few years ago that's like "Enjoy League One, mate" or something that was going about.
All right.
So then, when they got beat in the first leg, there was folk circulating that back to him, like just tagging him in it repeatedly, and then they obviously went up. Scotland call up.
I would take him for a game or two.
See.
Better than
shall
Kenny
see.
McLean.
We'll talk about the Scotland squad next week, I think.
Yeah.
Well, to talk about this week. Talking about a playoff, the Scottish Championship playoff. Partick, he's won the. He thinks he's won the game again. Aye, Partick scudded there. Good, great celebration summed up for us all there. And they will play in the playoffs. Can they return? Is Ross County they're playing, isn't it?
Probably.
Because Kelly won on the last day.
Against Ross County.
Yeah.
Ross County weren't very good.
Yeah, I just watched a Footy Adventures there before we came on when I was waiting on you. Sam North, shout out to him. Come on if you want, mate. But he was at Kelly on the last day of the season to watch that game, and very good coverage. It was good. Kelly fans were in good spirits, as you can imagine. Finished 3-1, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah.
On the subject of that, as someone who is otherwise located, and this shows you how much I've watched it this season, I've only realised that the sports scene theme tune isn't the same anymore, and I'm very annoyed about it. BBC, change it back.
I've
I've
never
not
watched
watched
sports.
sports scene in ages.
I watch it for the
So-
highlights.
I probably could tell. I usually see the highlights on the Twitter, but I need to get into a better routine of watching them all.
It's quite good. I'll do it on the way to work now.
I could see Partick going up, like they look fine if it gets there.
They have,
They were
yeah,
good.
they've been very free scoring.
8-0. I can bet that's not bad.
I don't know. The way Ross County have been playing this season, I think Partick could do it.
Definitely.
The
Yeah.
first time a team from Force went up as well.
Also, we don't condone Malky Mackay's historic racism, so I'd quite like him to lose his job.
Yeah, I didn't realise that, but yeah, if on that note, I think he should lose his job too.
Horrible,
Historic
horrible man.
racism. They employed him knowing about it.
Well, it serves them right then, they're getting relegated.
Hopefully.
Right, so that's that. And then this weekend is also the Scottish Cup final. Celtic versus Inverness Caledonian Thistle. Can Super Caley go ballistic, Greg?
No.
Oh, I think they can.
Of course you think they can. You're delusional.
Well, Celtic have they've not had a win in the last 2 games.
Yeah, but they've also not been playing teams from the Championship.
True.
I think Callie will score and think, oh, brilliant, and then it'll be about 7-1 by full time. Kind of like how it always goes.
Yeah, I didn't get the mess about. There's obviously the mess about Inverness and the cup final being moved, which we spoke about before. The good news is, Inverness fans, I don't think you'll need to worry about missing the last train. I think you'll be able to leave after about 45 minutes to an hour, and then you'll still be able to catch it.
I'll give to eat your words.
So do I.
Look
It would be
look
great.
forward to it.
It would also deny Hibs European football if Inverness won it.
Even better. Oh, I didn't do my song. Dundee United's going down, down, down. Oh, I've been going on about it for ages.
Yes, Dundee United's going down, down, and they've rewarded their manager by giving him a 2-year contract.
Yeah, that really confused me because one statement was like the chairman's statement on being relegated to the Championship, and then it was like we're happy to announce that we've offered Jim Goodwin a permanent contract. I said, oh right.
Shows they're getting back if
So,
they get back
but
up.
so I was watching something and they were like, Jim Goodwin's a really good manager, and I was like, he nearly put Aberdeen. Well, they were heading down at that point at the start of the season. Mind lost to
He did a
Darvel.
good job with St Mirren, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and then he sent Dundee United down.
To be fair, Dundee United were down long before he showed up. I say that, they had a chance. Like, the bottom
Yeah, well, that
six
was my view
close.
on it.
The problem is they've got to the bottom six and just completely stuttered, whereas Kelly and Ross County have pushed on a bit, especially Kelly. Like, Kelly have a better manager under Derek McInnes.
Oh, definitely. But yes, it'll be a decent game, I think. It'll be interesting if Inverness can get an early goal, like Kel said. But at the same time, I've not actually got it written down, but it's all over Twitter at the minute. Postecoglou's been linked with the Spurs job. What do we think about that?
I mean, there's a chance that in the next 30 minutes, any one of the three of us is going to get linked to the Spurs job because they're going to run out of other people.
Everyone's like, so Daniel Leaf is phoning me.
Are you interested, Kyle, or are you going to say no like everybody else?
No, I've got to hold it for a better job. I'll stick to where I am now.
No, I just thought it was been linked, and some of the Celtic fans are starting to get a bit scared going by their tweets.
It's too big a jump from just now.
Yeah, they were saying they want a young, fresh manager, and they've responded by being interested in Postecoglou, who's older than Conte.
We'll see. It'll be who actually. It'll come to a case of who can actually say yes to it and want it.
Ryan Mason wants it.
Sums it up, brother.
Yeah, it really does sum it up.
Do you mean Asuakoto?
Alan Johnson.
Well, I don't know. Sandy Clark's he managing Albion and is nearly getting the scrap. Did we talk about that? I can't remember. I think we did.
We did. And who else is about? Pardew? Big Sam! Leave Leeds, go to Spurs.
I've seen Arnie's
help staying up.
This has got to be a serious one. Arnie Slot, whatever his name is.
Yeah, he said no as well. He signed a new contract with Feyenoord.
It's quite bad.
Yeah, it's very bad that they've now had, 4 people reject them? And that's 4 people that came out in the news and said, we want you. And they've all went, nah.
Yes.
They're in their banter era, I would say.
We had the Arsenal banter years. We're now in the Spurs banter years.
And long may it continue.
I think maybe Potter.
That's true.
What did they say?
I said Potter.
Probably, actually.
They like Chelsea managers. So.
Yeah, Chelsea like Spurs managers.
It's literally just the Premier League manager merry-go-round.
Yeah, but to go back to what we said before about natural cycles, we said Spurs banter years, but actually, again, maybe slightly earlier than our time. Like you have the kind of Spurs rise under Redknapp. You've got this, we are a massive club now, we are part of the Big Six because we wanted to join the Super League thing because it happened at a time that was convenient for us. Are they just going back down to where their level actually is?
Probably, yeah.
Because you've got the kind of, I'm trying to think, Martin Yall, whoever the guy was before Martin Yall era of just doing all right.
7th, 8th, so.
Yeah.
Worse than that. Yeah.
They probably Conference League.
I was also listening to the radio and they were talking about how obviously Declan Rice looks like he's going to be leaving West Ham.
And do I have to sell my left bollock for him to come to Newcastle again?
But they were saying that it'll be a case of they need to invest the money wisely, but at the same time, look at the Spurs with Gareth Bale. Look how many players they bought that just didn't do anything. You could probably buy 4 decent players with the money that they're going to get, but it's whether you can actually get decent players in.
It's 120, you said, I guess. Is it?
That's mental.
Yeah, it is. And you kind of got the same question at Spurs this summer as well. If Harry Kane goes, they're going to have the same problem.
Where does Harry Kane go if he leaves?
Bayern. Madrid, if Benzema goes.
I always thought he was lined up for a move to Man U.
Any of the 3. I think going abroad would be good for him because it'd get him away from the English media. But part of him, I imagine, will also want to break Shearer's record. Go abroad, Harry. Don't break Shearer's record.
You could do that next season and then bugger off to Madrid.
Well, that's the other thing. I read something by quite an actually decent football writer for a change, who said that you actually think about it, Spurs have no incentive to make any money on Harry Kane. He cost them nothing. He came through their youth academy.
You should also look at the many goals he scored for them as well.
Yeah, they've got what they wanted out of him. If he leaves at the end of next year for nothing, so what?
Well, Redder's got to run down his contract, but that might be Sport Bible's finest.
That's fair enough as well. English FA Cup, City versus United. Can City win a treble still? They're on track for it. When is the Champions League final? The weekend after next?
10th.
Oh no, I think it's the end of the month.
No,
Is it? No, because the Scotland games are in June, so it must be the weekend after next.
I'm sure it's the 10th. Ish.
Are you off, Dale?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we're going to do the watch along, aren't we?
We're going to try to.
We'll try. We'll not make any promises, but we're aiming to do a watch along of us
Can we
commentating.
clarify? Have I completely missed the fact that Europa League final is
Tonight.
going to have happened by the time that
Yeah.
When's the Europa League final?
Tonight.
this podcast comes out?
It's the night.
Today is Wednesday.
8 o'clock.
That is it. Sevilla versus Roma. By the time you're watching this, you'll have known what's happened. Tell us if Jose wins the title, please.
Wait, quickly, while we're not talking about it, who's going to win? I think we've already spoken about it, but just while we're here.
Sevilla.
Roma. I think Marine's got a shit house.
I'd like Roma to win it, but I think it'll go to extra time.
Smashing.
Right, sorry, that was a bit of a tangent, but yeah, City's still on track to win the treble.
Yes.
But can United stop them?
No. Actually,
No, I think
they beat them in one of the games this season, thanks to VAR.
Yeah, but no, I think City will be too strong.
Yeah.
See, someone made like £1,000 on Erling Haaland. He put on like he was going to score over 40 goals and then cashed out and got like £1,000.
Actually, I'm just thinking, Man U are usually sort of different gravy in a final, so maybe Man U might nick it.
That would be a double for them. That would be League Cup and FA Cup. And given how their season went, like, I know they finished third, but like 2 trophies would be great, considering that the season
And
started
Champions
with
League
a loss to Brighton
Brentford
and
as
they
well.
got beat 4-0 off Brentford. Yeah, I just wanted to remind every Manchester United fan that you got beat 4-0 by Brentford. I enjoyed it.
And Squiddy's 7-0 by a certain team in red.
Yeah, so to be fair, Ten Hag's done a decent job so far, and so Champions League football again for them.
And he'll be buying the rest of the Ajax squad in the summer.
Probably. Right, so you going for City, Greg? I'm going for City as well. Kel,
Yeah.
do you think United?
I'm going to back United.
I think that the thing is, though, we said about the cup finals and playoff finals being like quite cagey. I could generally see this going to extra time.
I hope it doesn't.
Nah.
If it doesn't, then so to go back to this, and this is just a general point. If it does, then the Scottish Cup final gets booted off of BBC One Scotland to go on to the BBC Scotland channel. And the whole reason the kick-off time was changed in the first place was so that BBC One Scotland could show the final. And the argument was that there would be UK-wide viewing if it was on BBC One, but it's not even on BBC One in England and Wales and Northern Ireland. It's not on at all. Like it's like Escape to the Country or Pointless Celebrities or some shit that's on.
Probably a better watch.
Someone's done a history of the FA Cup final and Scottish Cup, what they put on instead of the Scottish Cup final. And it's mad. If you're going to move the Scottish Cup final, at least let everyone in the UK watch it.
Right, that brings us on to this week's game. Hell is in charge of the game this week. Watch me bottle it
I'm
again.
ready.
Right, well, let me just
I'm ready.
get my answers, sorry. Get a notepad to fuck.
It's not a notepad, it's a post-it note.
Get that to fuck. Get your pen at my side.
Boot is creeping.
Not like, put it there so I can see it.
Wait a minute.
Yes. Anyway, I'm sure I keep going. I'm sure by now we all know how it works, so I'm just going to get into it. So speaking of the Europa League, I want any of the teams to have won it since 1972.
So that's including when it was the UEFA Cup.
This goes back to 1972.
Right, including when it was the UEFA Cup then.
Up to 2022's final because the Dortmund.
Right.
Right, Robert.
Hold on 1 sec. I need to get my right. Go.
Chelsea.
Yes, 2019 and 2013. Oh, I don't have my thingy. Bing!
You don't have to hit the button if you don't want to, if it's going to be easier.
It's nice, I'm full screen on this. There we go.
Manchester United.
Yes, winners in 2017.
Sevilla.
Won it many times.
Atletico Madrid.
2012 and 2010 and 18 for that matter.
Zenit St. Petersburg.
Villarreal.
I was going to say them.
2021's victors.
Eintracht Frankfurt.
Yes, in 2022 and 1980.
Porto.
Porto. 03 and 11.
Oh, you've got me now.
Got you all sweating.
You have to do the clock is ticking because I'm struggling.
I can't see your faces, so.
Is it class?
Clock
Is
is ticking.
that the European Cup Winners'
Might
Cup
have
as
to
well? or is
rush
that
you.
UEFA Cup.
different? I was going to say Rangers because they won the European Cup Winners' Cup, but I don't know if that counts.
No.
No, don't think so.
Right, well, that was.
Wait, who started?
Robert. So I need another one to get
Yeah.
a point, and I don't have one.
Yeah, he tried to get away with that. He could have been honest, but no.
I was going to ask that.
No, I couldn't have been honest. You might have to clock is ticking me.
Hold on. We've got to sort this out.
No, never.
Clock is ticking, by the way.
Ajax are bound to have won it at some point, or PSV. Ajax is the one I'm going for.
Alright, just give him all the time he wants.
You can get to the bond. Yes.
Can we try a couple of other names I had in my head?
Yes.
PSV.
Yep, 78.
Bayer Leverkusen.
Leverkusen, I'm sure they have. Yeah, 888.
And Wolfsburg was the other one, but I don't think they have.
No,
Hamburg.
they have not. Hamburg also have not.
Smashing. Glad I went for the one I wanted.
I'll give you some big names. Spurs, as I mentioned, they won it.
I was going to say that and then change my mind.
Liverpool have won it a few times. Juventus, Ipswich, Inter, Napoli, Madrid, Real, Bayern. I think it's Gothenburg for Sweden. That's a shocking one. Shakhtar as well. There's a few. Anyway, 1-0.
I keep thinking that's a vape, Robert. It's not, it's a highlighter.
Yeah, so don't condone smoking, it's a highlighter.
Right,
I'm chewing
next
the
up.
end of the lid.
This is going to take a while for me, sorry, but there's a total of 34 answers for this one.
Oh, God.
Name any player in the Premier League 100 club.
100 goals, I take it.
Yeah, 100 goals.
It's me to start. Didier
Yes.
Drogba.
Yes.
Alan Shearer.
Harry Kane.
Wayne Rooney.
Robin Van Persie.
Oh, I don't know. I'm struggling now. Frank
That's so
Lampard.
obvious.
If there's a delay, it's me trying to find them on the list. What the fuck is he? I know he's on it.
We'll just stress ding and carry on.
Oh, there it is. Number 5, 6.
Thierry Henry.
Oh, that was my next one.
Ding! There you go.
Steven Gerrard.
Yeah.
Dwight York.
Robbie Fowler.
I've seen his name kicking about. Yeah.
Ruud van Nistelrooy. Don't know if he was there long enough.
Just one apiece.
He needs one more. I started.
Oh,
Buggery.
Easy.
there's a few big names like.
Yeah.
I
I
can't
was
think.
way too cocky.
But now I'll never relax though. I had one in my head and I can't remember what it was. What is it? Do the clock is ticking and it'll make me think.
Clock is ticking. Might have to rush you.
Oh, I don't know. Sol Campbell.
So
So what happens here then?
Try again, I guess.
Try again.
No,
That's
I
all.
thought we moved on to the next one.
Can't if you want, but then if you get it right, then I'll drop it back up.
Yeah, I was going to say I have an unassailable lead if we go on to the next one.
I don't know.
Have another go. That'll be nice.
You're letting me have another go, as if I've not had to sit and think about it for ages.
I'll just hit your clock ticking quicker then.
That's fine, carry on.
Clock is ticking. Gonna have to dash you.
Nicholas and Elka.
Time.
The other team doesn't quite count, so yeah, he's on it.
Fernando Torres.
Don't think he's on this.
He
He is
sure
not.
is.
No, because maybe he was on the good for one season.
That's true. Luis Suarez?
Yeah, he wasn't there long enough.
No, I didn't think so. But he says.
Sergio Aguero missed in.
Yeah.
Jermaine Defoe, Michael Owen,
Oh,
Wesley Ferdinand, Mo Salah, Jamie Vardy, Sterling, Mane, Ronaldo.
You've missed something.
I don't know, Heskey,
Who's the winner?
Greg, obviously.
oh wait, no. Who was? Go back.
I can't see your face.
Les Ferdinand.
Yeah.
I was thinking him. I said Son Campbell.
That's quite well.
That's what I meant. I knew it wasn't Son Campbell, but that was the only name I could come up with. So I was went for that. I meant Les Ferdinand. Oh, well.
Oh, well, this is just for fun now then.
For a whitewash.
So the last one it's quite a long one. There's a lot of answers. It is any player, so any nationality that has won the Premier League.
As a player.
Yeah, so like we can, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Robert, start.
So the nationality of the player who've won the league.
English.
English, yes. Oh shit, yeah. Bang.
Just say yes if you want. It was going to be easier.
Scottish.
Welsh.
Northern Irish.
Northern Ireland.
Germany.
Republic of Ireland.
Portugal.
Spain.
France.
Belgium.
Oh, I don't know.
Clock is ticking.
Just name a country.
Gonna
Come
have to
on.
dash you.
I'm trying to think. I'll go America. That was what.
Brazil.
Egypt.
Switzerland.
Argentina.
Chile.
Chile. They're not on my list. Oh no, they are. Sorry, Tilton Fibs.
So,
I'm trying to remember the teams that we've actually named.
Clock is
That's maybe I
ticking.
put in the dark here.
Gonna have to dash you.
Did you say sorry?
Morocco.
Morocco.
Time. Time.
This is what I hate. Bloody film in this big list. No, they're not on it.
I thought
No.
maybe actually you
Nigeria.
could on it.
Algeria, where yes.
I said Nigeria, but yeah,
Nigeria, they're also on it.
quite a lot of African countries will be.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I was trying to think.
Cote d'Ivoire.
could very well be. Yeah, there will be with Drogba. Yes. So
That's what I was trying to think of. I couldn't think of Ivory Coast.
Liberia have all won. Senegal, Uruguay, Poland, Japan.
Yeah.
Sweden, a few.
Here's one. I want to double check Australia.
Australia, yeah, 2 winners.
Yeah.
Mark Schwarzer being the weekend.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
3-0.
Well done, Greg. Speaking of Greg winning, the prediction results are on social media. They're on Twitter anyway. They've all been posted onto Instagram. Greg won the predictions. Our points was it 122? Greg got So that was obviously we started doing this 30 weeks ago.
We did 29 weeks. I got 122. Kyle got 119. Robert got 114. The last week was a bit of an anticlimax, with all of us scoring 6 points, meaning absolutely no change.
Yeah, but it was a good start, and we've got a system set up. We have decided that we are going to change the structure a bit next season, bring it down to 6 games, 1 from each Scottish league, and then 2 wild cards. So
Yes.
that'll change. The points obviously may not be as high next season, but we've got a lot more to go.
Yeah.
I mean, per week, but obviously we're going to do the whole season, and that will start on the start of the Scottish League Cup.
We might do a mini league cup. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Could do actually. We'll see. We'll discuss that. But anyway, it's in the making. I've uploaded it to Twitter. I've made a league table, so I will be keeping that updated each week when the competition starts again. But congratulations, Greg.
Thank you.
On your win.
2 wins this week. Fantastic.
I'm happy with my 3rd place.
I'm not.
Right, before we finish, I have made a poll. I haven't uploaded it yet, but it will be up by the time you view this. Which just a poll to see basically what you want to see at home. So I've got, what topics would you like us to discuss during the summer break, and is there anything you'd like us to include in next season's episodes? So I'll upload that onto the socials for you to fill out. Please do. Literally anything you want to see, it would be appreciated. We'll like a bit of feedback. So yeah, please give a like on this video and subscribe and all that as usual. And yeah, we're going to keep going through the summer. So please stay tuned. We've got a few topics lined up. Like I say, we've got one special one lined up, which I think will be great. It's in the process. It's been started, so that'll be a special. But yeah, there's still got the European finals to go. We're hoping to do a watch along for the Champions League final. So whether that'll work or not, my headphones have just died. Whether that works or not, we'll see. But thank you very much for watching. This has been episode 30.
Aye. Godspeed.
Bye.
Ta-da.